What's going on, guys? Welcome to this week's Theory Thursday. Today we're going to discuss about the secret map located for Sister Location, where apparently, if you brighten up the image, you see two secret rooms, which we're going to discuss. We're also going to discuss about why Ennard is symbolised in this teaser as well. So I've got the boys to discuss this with me. Who do we have this week?
Other Ryan.
And Razbowski.
So let's get straight into it, guys.
Where's my face?
So we're going to start, guys, with some initial thoughts on the two different teasers because they're both very interesting and we want to share quickly all of our opinions on how this game might play and also why Ennard is in the teaser, but we'll specify more on that later on. This is just a brief synopsis for now.
So yeah, I personally believe that the game's going to be released on this date. That's about it. So
Yeah.
Wow, 10 out of 10 analysis. No longer Theory Thursday, it's became Factual Thursday.
No, I'm not, I don't know why Scott chose to use Ennard. We're going to go more into that later, possibly because he's like the mastermind behind this. I've said this in a previous video. The map is pretty much the map. The only thing that's confusing about this is the two secret rooms either side of the auditorium fun time thing. But it does look like a very confusing map, and I'm looking forward to exploring it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very excited because we expected the game to be out at the end of October, around about Halloween time. But hey, we're getting it like a couple of weeks early, which is absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much, Scott, for working night and day to delight us with your jump scares. But other than that, yeah, Ennard, he obviously has a very, very significant part to the story. We've already talked about how he is the only one that's trashed compared to the rest of them. They're all looking very prim and proper and shiny and new, and he's been destroyed. So again, we'll go on to this later on. So it's very significant. And the map itself, we've got these two secret rooms which are very, I think that they're going to reveal later on parts of the story, so we're not necessarily going to get to do them unless we get a secret code and go down the elevator even further. That's what I think.
Yes.
An interesting part of Ennard is that his face is tilted open, which is a different perspective of what we see in the main room where we see him above the vent. Its mask is completely shut. So something is obviously moved this mask somehow, showing that maybe this is the mask what Ennard's going to take, what Raz said, and that maybe this mask moves from that area and then gets placed onto Ennard or something like that. But yeah, that's basically all I can say. The release date as well is earlier, so that's good. Less time for us to wait, and yeah, really excited.
Yeah, it looks really, really great. I think everyone's pretty much briefed over for the most part about the Ennard teaser image. It's very self-explanatory, but at the same time, it's very kind of mystical. We don't really know why Scott's chosen this, because this character, we really don't know a whole lot about him. But interestingly enough, the map reveals a lot. We can see like the elevator, it's got like a small square in the middle, which has been white. It's been filled with white, which might show our starting location, perhaps. And then we make our way into the control module. And then at the circus control section, there's a small rectangle which seems to be almost like lined, and then that might be another panel which does something totally different. And it's just interesting like how Scott's almost split this in half, and we see like the Funtime Auditorium. We know this to be like the original Five Nights at Freddy's gang, Bonnie, Freddy, and also Foxy. And the parts and service is connected to this one, and we also know that the parts and service is renowned for the FNAF general games we've all played before. There's almost always been one. And also it's interesting why the two secret rooms are attached to the Funtime one, so maybe we might be seeing more of the old gang within these two rooms. And it seems like the Ballora Gallery and also the break room have been separated because maybe that's a new mechanic, something new, and I think Ballora is definitely going to be involved with the breaker room, maybe messing with the electricals within there. Note the teaser, get back on your stage now.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive into why there are two secret rooms, how we could possibly get to them, and what will their purpose be. So, Dawko, what do you think, my man?
So I want to kick it off straight to the bat about the map for Five Nights at Freddy's 1, how Phone Guy, or it was Phone Dude, said there's a secret room, which got boarded off, which wasn't on the original map. Now, it could be an idea that these could be secret rooms where it's kind of a safe place to go for a short while or something, or we're just going to forever be in danger while roaming around. It would be a nice mechanic where there's at least one little place or two little places where you can go where you can be safe for a short time, instead of just roaming around all the time. Other than that, like Ryan said, it could be a secret place where the old animatronics are being kept, or maybe the spring lock suits are being kept, because I think we said a really long time ago that it would be awesome to see some of the old gang there or something like that. Not active, just dead. Like it would kind of be depressing as well, just dead, just not active, they're not going to move at all, they're not possessed anymore, just dead on the floor.
Yeah, it's interesting as well because when you see the layout of how this seems to be looking now, that is how the map portrays and everything like that, it seems like a lot of the time we're going to have to be seeing these rooms with our own eyes. I don't really see how there's room for a camera mechanic as such, even though we've seen cameras in the office. Perhaps maybe you can flick downwards and that might bring up the monitor regardless of the view you're in. But other than that, it might be interesting if there's a way to traverse between all of these rooms, and perhaps maybe there might be a door attached to each of these rooms, which sometimes might be slightly open and we might see a head peering out of some animatronic or something. The purpose they might serve, however, it really... anyone's guess is just as good as anyone's because they're grayed out. The only way people found this out is by brightening the image, and generally when Scott incorporates something like a brightening thing into the images, there's going to be some kind of secret involved with them.
Yeah, I think we need to think back to the old Five Nights at Freddy's 3 when he actually released the map for that, and when we highlighted that, it was the ventilation system, and we need to think about that because it was a way for them to get around to come and kill you. So who's to say that this auditorium, the two things either side, you have to keep a 360 look around because there are also two rooms where others can come from to kill you. Maybe you could do like an Easter egg with the old crew, like a hallucination of Foxy running at you maybe, or something else like that. But I think it'll personally be maybe a place where they can attack from.
To quickly go back to Ryan's point when he was talking about the cameras, the control module is referred to as the main control point, and you do have the screens up around the top edge. This is the central point. So this is where the camera system, I think, will work. You will have cameras in the room, but I think you'll maybe only have access to them in this middle point, because this is a good place for you to either go right, left, forwards, or backwards. And obviously, if you see somebody coming to the right, you'll maybe want to go left or forwards or backwards. So I think this is the way the cameras will play in here. So necessarily you wouldn't have anything with you, but I think that's how that could potentially work. My second point is Ryu on Twitter. I'll have a post of this right now, but he basically said that when people use different colors as darker shades or lighter shades on a map like this, because obviously it's not a 3D image, so you can't really see what's above or below. Generally, when the color is different, it means it's a different level or floor. So I believe that these secret rooms will actually be underneath where we are playing the main game. I think maybe you'll collect some kind of code that you can input in the elevator and it'll take you to a secret floor. And maybe here, this is where we'll get some kind of information, some kind of extra lore. You know what Scott's like with, remember back to Five Nights at Freddy's 3, we had to press codes in walls or collect cupcakes and stuff. I think you can play the game normally, but you won't get the real ending. However, if you get this code for the elevator, it takes you to a different floor, or maybe even multiple different floors, because there's no way of saying that both of these two secret rooms are actually on the same floor. Go into these rooms on certain nights, you'll get little bits of hints to actually piece together the final story. So I think that's the purpose of these rooms. I don't think there's going to be anything in there to kill you. I think they're going to be there as little hidden Easter eggs to solve the sister location lore.
From the teaser images we've seen of Sister Location currently as well, we can't really see Ennard in any of them. Another thing to remember though, guys, it seems like, I'm not going to say this is confirmed, that there's only one Ennard. And a lot of people are thinking maybe he's going to be in the parts and service room of this place. So it does still leave questions as to what could be in both of these. It couldn't be just empty rooms. There's going to be something really secretive involved in these rooms. The fact that it's grayed out and really the lack of information by this teaser image is very interesting, and I'm very excited to see whatever's going to be inside these two rooms. I think it's going to be very exciting once we discover it, and I'm looking forward to it.
So the last part we need to discuss is why Ennard is in this teaser. Why not Baby, the ringleader of the sister location, or so we thought. So why is Ennard here?
Well, the first thing that I really thought is that potentially Ennard might be almost like the beginning character of the sister location, maybe like the test. If you look at the features on Ennard, it's very bare bones in comparison to all the others as well. Like, the mask is very kind of plain. We've only got eyebrows and a nose piece. And it makes me think that maybe Ennard's got some other kind of backstory with this establishment, because we also have the party hat on top of the head, and this could be almost like to make it feel like a clown of some kind, but also it might be some kind of metaphor for maybe a life that's been taken by Ennard, and it could be a child's life at a party. But who knows? That's just what I'm thinking right now, because none of the other characters have any of this kind of party hat appearance to them, and the fact that we've seen Ennard in a very, very mangled state shows that it's been dismantled beyond belief, forgotten about, and things don't get like that over just one night.
Well, yeah, like I was saying before, I think Baby is the front man or front woman of the actual animatronics themselves for the show, if you know what I mean. But with the actual behind the scenes, I believe that Ennard is the master puppet kind of guy. He's the guy that's controlling them all. I personally don't think he even has like a face. I reckon this is a paranormal entity, because because it's just from the previous teaser, there's a part of me in everybody. It feels like he's possessing people. He's taking over, and this mask is just a front, like a face, like that he can kind of, I don't know, go into. That's his like facade, if you know what I mean. It's very hard to explain, but I think that this guy is going to have a lot of backstory, and hopefully there will be a little bit of lore between the knights as well about him and the other animatronics.
Well, this is the second time Scott's given him a front and center, maybe even 3 times if you want to include the teaser image of the control module that we had when the mask was still on the wall. As Dawko was saying earlier on, in the new image revealing the date for the sister location's release, the mask had been obviously moved, like the lower part of the jaw had been opened up. So it's no longer just on the wall, this has been moved. And we did speculate about this earlier on, that maybe this is a signal for Ennard to have been unleashed in the location, the fact that this mask is no longer on the wall. It goes back to, again, what other Ryan said to do with the teaser, there's a part of me in everybody. It's completely different to everything else that the rest of them have said, or that have been on, like, get back on your stage now, or anything like that. This is all to do with him. There's a part of me in everybody. And again, to go back to Ryan's point, to do with what has happened, again, he's going to be significant because of the party's hat. Remember this, the source code when it said Chica's Party World. We keep going back to this thing, and now this character has a party hat on. It's all just linking, tying together that one massive event has happened at this party, and I think Ennard's going to be involved. Whether he killed a child, whether he's involved in the murder, or maybe he is the killed child. That may have started everything off at the sister location. But there's just too much significance with him. As we mentioned earlier on, again, he is the only one that is actually all mangled and broken up. And the rest of them are all nice and clean. So whether it's because he's got a grudge, or whether he was a prototype, or whether he has been around the longest, we'll find out. But the fact that Scott is put in front and center again is very, very important.
Yeah, what Raz just said, what he said, if he's been there the longest, who's to say that there was an older location, we've like an older sister location before this baby's one, where Ennard was, and maybe JJ was, etc. And something happened there, and that's why they've made a new location and brought all these new characters about. And obviously Ennard doesn't like it, so he tampers with all the new latest animatronics, and that's where we start. Like, that's how this story's begun for this game. But yeah, really nothing else to say. It just shows that Ennard is important again. Like we said 100 times, the mask has moved slightly, so it obviously shows that someone's tampered with it, or it's been moved, or Ennard's using it now. So yeah.
Guess in a way we could also say that potentially the story about the gas leaks might have been from a past sister location. We could say that. I mean, that's how it could make sense with Scott not quite giving away the lore. But another interesting thing as well is the fact that Scott is also confirmed on Steam there is not going to be a trailer 2. So Scott is keeping Ennard a secret. So we're going to have to find out about this guy by playing, because potentially he does say that he might spoil it in some way. So maybe if he reveals anything about Ennard, that's going to be enough to give away exactly the sort of character he is.
Well, there you go, guys. That was this week's Theory Thursday. Really enjoyed this one. Lots of new information for you guys to think about with the map and the secret rooms and Ennard as well. Thank you very much for the boys once again for being in today's episode. Their links of their channels will be in the description down below. And if you guys have got any ideas for sister location, let us all know in the comment section down below. And as always, lots of love, and we'll see you all next time.